Hello, wait, going live, going. You are now live. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? We are going to get started in about 30 seconds. Let me sit back and type something. Wait, let me get this together. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone that you are calling from. Listen, my name is Teacher Will, and greetings. I am from America, and currently I am in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where I am a teacher of English. And welcome to my very first live YouTube. All right. So I see all the comments here. This is my first live YouTube, and I'm very, very, very excited to be here. I see your comments on the right-hand side. So let me know where you're calling from. Now, because this is my first live YouTube, I'm going to try to get used to the technical glitches. But with that being said, I first and foremost want to thank anyone that has joined the call, all right? And in today's live YouTube, what I want to talk about is something that I believe that is extremely important in life, not only in your life, but particularly as it relates to learning English, all right? So I'm going to type this. Today's live YouTube has to deal with success, all right? And also, what is success? Now, let's talk about this. I think it's really important that when we talk about success is that we need to give a definition so that you and I are starting from the same page. When you think about success, success can be defined as an accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Let me say that again. Success can be defined as an accomplishment of a purpose. All right. So, accomplishment of a purpose or aim. All right. So, success. A synonym for success is triumph or victory or doing something to the best of your capability. The question is, do you have success? Now, success is defined by people in many different ways. Sometimes when people think about success, they think about financial success, being rich. They think about family success, being married with lots of children. They think about professional success, being the CEO of a company or a high-level manager. Some people think about emotional success or spiritual success. And all of those things are important in one's life, to have success or to be successful. But in particular, what I want to talk about on this live YouTube is success as it relates to English. Success as it relates in English. Now, one of the things that I think is important, success as, let me type for you one moment, relates to English. Now, what I think is very important and what I want you to understand and to think about is that I believe it's extremely important to measure success based on your own particular definition and not the definition of others. Why is that important when learning English? Because your particular English journey is your own. Measure your success by your standards, by your methods, by your goals, and not what others think of what success should be for you. Why is that important? Because your independent journey in English is yours. There is no one out there in the world with 7 billion people. You are unique. You are special. And so your success, measure your success upon your own particular values and goals. So, success in English. All right, Teacher Will, that's great. But what does that mean? And can you give me any suggestions or any tips of how to become successful in English, or because I need your help? Well, I think what I've done is I hope that I might be able to do that. And so what I want to talk about is that I want to give you 10 tips, suggestions, 10 tips or suggestions to be 10 suggestions or tips to have, I'm multitasking, success in English. All right? And by the way, thank you. Let me know. End stream. What happened? What happened? Move your hand. There we go. Sorry. I was like, what happened? Somebody's recording me. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, followers. I'm new. All right. So 10 tips to have success in English. All right. That is our topic for the live YouTube today. And by the way, thank you for all those that have joined. And let me know in the comment section, where are you calling from? Because English is a global international language. And while I'm on that subject, let me say this. Hi, shout out to teacher Ahmed. Say hi, Ahmed. Hi. All right. All right. So let me first say this. The first thing that you want to understand, or what I believe is extremely important in learning English. All right. And if you're new to the live YouTube, or if you're a new follower, I usually use this. Brazil is in the house. Saudi Arabia is in the house. All right. One of the things that I want to say to you, first and foremost, before we talk, Iran is in the house, great, is the following. English is not monolithic. Now, for all of you regular followers that might join me on Instagram, you will hear me say this term constantly. What do I mean by English is not monolithic? English is for you and for me. The language English, or the English language, is not defined by a gender, a country, a belief, whether you're rich or you're poor, it doesn't matter. So the first thing that you need to understand is that English is for you and for me. And why? Because that is extremely important in order for you to understand what success means. All right? So, tip number 1. Heart's in the house. Hey, Heart, how are you? Hey, Bebo. Hey, Teacher Gal. And hello. I'm getting used to this. I'm looking over. All right. Let's talk about tip number 1. Tip number 1 in terms of having success in English. Set a goal. Ladies and gentlemen, public service announcement. You need to set a goal in English. Goal setting is extremely important in learning English. Why? What is your goal? What is your purpose or reason for learning English? Is it to become more fluent? Is it to pass an IELTS or TOEFL exam? Is it to immigrate? Is it just to be able to have a conversation on social media or in face-to-face? Is it for job? Is it for a job or a job promotion? What is your purpose for learning English? And you need to set a goal. Now, one of the things that I believe that is extremely important in terms of setting a goal is an abbreviation or acronym that I'm going to use in terms of having SMART goals. All right? The S being specific, the M being measurable. All right, you have to have, before I type this measurable, you have to have specific goals. What is your specific goal? If you are just learning English and you're a beginner, for example, or if you are or have learned English for 20 years or 2 years, having a specific goal. Why? Because of the M, halas. So therefore, it can be measurable. You, when learning English, want to, hey, Ghost, you want to have a measurable goal. something that you can track from one point to another. Why? So that you can applaud yourself and recognize and realize the progress that you are making. So the first, specific. The M, measurable. The A, it's used as two ways, so I will type both. One is attainable, and the other would actually be actionable and attainable. I like the word attainable. Now, why is that important? You have to be able to attain meaning reach your goal. If you are just learning English and you have a desire, for example, you're a beginner or elementary, and you have a desire to perhaps get a 7 on your IELTS exam across the board, and or you want to get a job promotion and you think that you're going to be able to get that, let's say within a month, that particular goal is not attainable, not because you were stupid, not because you were not smart, but because of your particular level of English. So make sure, hey Mavi, how are you? So make sure that your goal is attainable. Also, the letter R. The goal is realistic. Set goals that you actually can achieve and that are within your time frame to do. They're realistic. If you want to expect, again, you're just learning English or whatever language or level of language that you're at, and you expect to be a near native speaker or native speaker, and you feel as though that that's going to happen within 1 month or 2 months, okay, then that is not a realistic goal. Why else? Because we all have different life responsibilities. So make sure that your goal is realistic. The last is timely. You develop goals based on your personal habits. Everyone on the call, we have life responsibilities, right? Where, let's say you have a desire to study English 8 hours a day for 7 days a week, and yet that's not timely because you have other life responsibilities. So goal number 1, or tip number 1, is setting a goal. Tip number 2, find out the method that works best for you. Find out the method of learning that works best for you. Now, why is that important? Well, the beautiful thing about English, and the beautiful thing is because you are unique, is that everyone learns English in a different method. Now, there are 3 particular styles of learning in which we learn. We are visual learners, things, and we learn by sight. We are auditory learners, things that we learn by hearing. And we are tactile. Things are learners that learn by touching or doing. You need to find out what type of learner you are, number 1. And also, in addition to that, you need to find out what particular method of learning works for you. Some people are very good at self-study, while others are good on social media, while others are good with private tutoring and or English schools or universities. So find out the method that works best for you, okay? And oh, by the way, your methods might change as you increase or you understand your level of English, all right? Find out the method that works. Sorry, I'm typing at the same time. Here we go. That's number 2. Number 3. Now, I want to repeat number 3. I'm going to repeat number 3 times. Take responsibility. Take responsibility. Take responsibility for your own learning. Be accountable. Public service announcements. If you're new to the live YouTube, all right, if you're new to my Instagram page, all right, you have to be accountable for your own learning. There are many teachers on YouTube and other social media face-to-face in your schools and your universities that are helping you learn English. But you need to take responsibility and be accountable for your own English. If Teacher Will or other teachers or your mama or your daddy or your wife, your sister, your brother care more about your English than you, then I advise you to take a look in the mirror, because you should be accountable and responsible of your English more than anyone else. So take responsibility for your own learning. That does not mean that people will not assist you, nor will they help you. But you want to take responsibility for yourself. Because why? Because at the end of the day, you know you better than anybody else in this whole wide world. Number 4, read as much as you can. Read. Reading, ladies and gentlemen, is fundamental. Now, oftentimes people have asked me the question, they've asked me, well, Teacher Will, I want to learn English. What do I read? Read what you enjoy. Do you like football? Read. Do you like cooking? Read. Do you like politics? Read. Do you like social media? Read. Read what you enjoy. Reading is really good. Why? Because it will allow you, depending on the type of genre of books that you will read or novels, it will allow you to use your imagination. It will allow you to develop new vocabulary. So read, and if there are words or phrases that you don't understand, then what you can do is write them down on a book. But reading is very, very important. Number 5, focus. I can't speak Arabic. English. Focus on listening. Focus on listening. All right. And by the way, for those of you that might hate reading or you don't like reading, listen, I understand. That's why I'm suggesting to you read something that you understand. All right. Now, number 5 is that you want to focus on your listening skills. Let me say that again. Focus on your listening skills. Why? Because think about this. Whatever your native language out there, let's say it's not English, let's say it's Arabic or Farsi or Spanish or French or German, you want to focus on your listening. That's one of the first skills that you learn how to do. And when you focus on your listening skills, it will help you to understand different expressions. It will help you understand different accents. So focus on your listening. And oh, by the way, for those of you that might ask me or have not asked me, okay, listen, what becomes important, there is a discussion in the whole English language industry, the English ESL industry. If you're new to the call, recognize fluency, the ability to explain yourself in the same way that you would explain your native language, is more important to me than accent, all right? So focusing on your listening skills, all right? The next one. Number 6, watch movies. Watch movies. Now, sorry about that. I hit myself. You want to make sure that you watch movies. What type of movies do you watch? You watch movies of things that you enjoy. There are different types of genres out there, right? If you like romantic comedies, watch them. Action, suspense, drama, whatever. Watch movies. Movies are a wonderful way to learn English. Not the only way, but a very good way. You can learn slang English, formal language, informal language. And because most of us, the majority of learners are visualized, they're motivational. You can put yourself in a situation, okay, or see yourself in that movie. Now, for those of you that might ask the question, Teacher Will, do I watch the movies with subtitles, without subtitles? What do I do? I'm so confused. The choice, ladies and gentlemen, is yours. For those of you, my recommendation would be is if you're just beginning to learn the language, what you can do is watch movies with subtitles in your particular native language. And then as you feel more comfortable, you can watch them with English subtitles and then without subtitles. But here's a good tip or suggestion that I have for you as it relates to movies. When you're watching a movie, I would apply a 2-step approach. Step number 1, watch the movie purely for enjoyment. Whatever this movie is, whatever the genre is, watch it for pure enjoyment. So you can familiarize yourself with the visuals, the vocabulary, the theme, the plot. And then the second time you watch the movie, have a notebook, a pen, paper, an iPad, a technical device, and break that movie down into, say, 10 to 15-minute parts. And so that you're able to understand the situation, the context. If there's vocabulary words that you do not understand, is that you watch it that way. You write those words down so that at a later point or a later point, you can go. All right. So first watch it for entertainment and then use the movie as a studying habit. And then once you have those particular phrases, context, situation, You either can review it with yourself, and or if you have someone else to review it with, a great technique or tool would be is tell somebody about the movie. Be a critic about the movie. All right? Number 7, what I like to call variety is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of life. Well, Teacher Will, what do you mean by variety is the spice of life? Well, in this day and age, in 2018, there is a virtual plethora. Plethora means many or a lot. I'll type that word, plethora. There are many, many, many different resources out there in terms of figuring out and learning English. All right, let me type the word plethora. All right, so you use it. The beautiful thing about English, I believe, is one method does not fit all. Listen, there are podcasts, there are audiobooks, there are books, there are television series, documentaries, there is YouTube, there's Instagram, there's face-to-face contact, there's talking by yourself. Variety is the spice of life, and I would encourage you, in case you are not, I would encourage you to use all of those different methods. Why? Because variety is a spice of life. And ladies and gentlemen, if you just use one method, if you're just watching television series, for example, or you're just watching movies, for example, you might get bored. So variety is the spice of life. So encourage yourself to use that. All right. Number 8. This is something that I think that I remember when I was studying a foreign language that I oftentimes forgot. You want to focus on all 4 language skills together or simultaneously. Let me pause and type that. Focus on all 4 language skills together or at the same time, simultaneously. Now, most people that I am aware of, okay, are only interested in, hey, Teacher Will, you know what? I don't like writing. I don't like reading. I just want to speak English. Okay. Well, here's the question. Let me ask you, the followers, a question. Let's say, for example, that you are going on a job interview. And on the job interview, the hiring manager, he or she asks you the question, and you're a very fluent speaker. And then they ask you, okay, great. Well, what we'd like for you to do is that we would like you to read a particular, our annual report. Or better yet, please write an essay containing 500 words or less on writing on why you want the job. So for those of you that solely want to speak, I understand that. Some people find it to be more efficient, more valuable. I respect what you're thinking. But you want to focus on all 4 language skills. If you want to concentrate on speaking, that's fine. But just think, let me ask you a question this way. Your native language, whatever your native language is, do you only know how to speak in that foreign language, or do you know how to listen, read, write, and speak? English is no different. If you focus, if you understand and you have fluency in terms of the fact of whatever your native language is, and you listen and you speak and you read and you write, English is no different. Now, number 9, so important, extremely important. And what I might have to do is, I'm going to repeat this 3 times, and I might be a little bit savage. And for those of you that are joining me for the very first time, savage means expressive. I'm not mad, but I need to make sure that hopefully you get this point across or understand what I'm about to type. Followers, number 9. Let me say this 3 times. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And in case you didn't hear me, don't be afraid to make mistakes. When you are learning English and learning a new language, it is normal that you are going to make mistakes. It is not your native language. There is nothing the matter with you by making mistakes. That means that you are learning the language. It is okay to make mistakes. It is part of the learning process. Now, I need to be a little bit more expressive for one moment. Followers, subscribers, listen, it is natural. Why are some of you that are learning English are so afraid to speak? Because you don't want to make a mistake. You care more about what people think about you. Oh my God, I said the wrong word. May I ask you a question? How are you going to learn unless you make a mistake? The funny thing is that you did the same thing in your native language. You just don't remember it. If you are sitting back because you're afraid of making mistakes, or you're scared, or you're shy, or you lack confidence, then you know what? You will never learn the language. If you are sitting back scared of not trying to make mistakes because you care more about what someone else thinks about you, rather than your own value and your own worth, then you will never learn English. Making mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, is normal in the process. And recognize and realize those mistakes will always not be there. Where is your confidence in yourself? Where is your belief in yourself? So it is normal. It is okay to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes will help you with pronunciation. Mistakes will help you with understanding grammar, vocabulary. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. And I promise you, if those mistakes will not always be there. I'm no longer savage. I need to be calm. So, followers, please don't be afraid to make mistakes. And number 10. Sounds kind of stupid, but I think it's important. I'm typing. Oh! Practice, 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 practice. You have a goal to learn English. You have to practice. You have to put what you have in your thoughts and make it into reality. You have to practice. Can I say it again? You have to practice. Now, it's nice if you think that there's going to be a pill, or there's something that rains down from heaven, or there's a magical instrument that it's going to just like you're going to eat. Like you're going to eat in English. You're going to take like a hamburger. It's a hamburger English, and you're going to eat the hamburger or drink the water or drink the pineapple coconut, right? You have to practice English. Now, followers, if you don't think that's the case, let me ask you a question. Let's say, for example, that you are a sports player, you're a runner, you're a president, you're an artist. How did you become a great artist? How did you become a great president? How did you become a great chef? How did you become a great teacher, or because we have teachers on the call. You know what? Public service announcement. How did Gail _English become a great teacher? Did she sit on her derriere and do nothing? No. She practiced the language. So, followers, I know that's dumb. I know that's stupid. Maybe you didn't want to hear that, but you have to practice the language. And when you do those, right, those are the 10 tips. What I would say is, these are not necessarily tips, but I want to use these particular words. You have to trust yourself and have confidence in yourself. You have to trust yourself, and you have to have confidence in yourself. So, 10 tips on English. 10 tips, suggestions on English. Set a goal. Find out what method of learning works best for you. Take accountability and personal responsibility for you learning the language. Read as much as you can. Focus on your listening skills. Watch movies. We explain what was going on with subtitles. Variety is the spice of life. With all of the resources out there, use the different methods that are available to you. Develop all 4 language skills simultaneously. Yes, you can focus on speaking, but make sure that you focus on all 4, like you have the access to an ability with respect to your native language. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Please don't be afraid to make a mistake. And number 10, practice, practice, practice. I know it's an old saying, practice makes perfect. And you can do those things with trust and belief in yourself. Now, before I close this live Instagram, I'd like to leave you with a particular acronym that I think is important with respect to those 10 tips or suggestions. A lot of times people have asked me, hey, Teacher Will, how have you been successful in life and things of that nature? Well, if you're just joining the live YouTube, or welcome, thank you very much for joining. There's a phrase that I have that I believe that is important to me and might help you with respect to your English, and I dare say your life, and I dare say it, your English. I call it the GPP. You have a goal, ladies and gentlemen. You plan, and then you pray. And if you don't believe in prayer, that's fine for whatever reason. Call it belief and trust in yourself. That, in my experience, has not only made me be somewhat successful in life, and I still have a long way to go, but also I certainly think it has been successful as it relates to learning English. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all I have. That is my first live YouTube. I hope some of those tips and suggestions have been a benefit to you and of value to you. I hope that you enjoyed the live Instagram. Thank you to all of the people that joined me on my first live, not Instagram, excuse me. Thank you for all of those that have joined me on my first live YouTube. I'm really excited. And to be honest with you, public service announcement. Teacher Will was nervous the whole time. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So I hope some of these things were of value to you. And I plan on doing live YouTubes more in the future. Here's the last thing that I would say. If information is given to you, if these 10 tips or suggestions were given to you, you again have number 3, the responsibility of whether or not you want to use the tips or not. English is not a sprint. Learning a new language takes time, takes effort, and takes practice. So what I would suggest to you is, now that you have the 10 tips, now that you have the 10 suggestions, the choice is whether you decide to learn them or not. So thank you very much. If you have any comments, please make comments on the end. If you're new to the call, thank you very much. My name is Teacher Will. I am on Instagram and YouTube and Snapchat. I'll type that out because a lot of times people ask me that. But I am on ask_Teacher Will. Remember, anything is possible in your life, which is your business. But anything is possible. But I dare say, even in your English, anything is possible to those that means you, if you believe. Remember the 10 tips and suggestions to have success in English. Thank you very much and have a wonderful, wonderful day.